This girl looks real. And so does this one. But are they really? What if I told you that neither of them exists? With hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, they're both AI influencers, making millions of dollars every month from accounts that are completely run by AI. Crazy, right? I had the exact same reaction when I first discovered this secret. And obviously, I wanted a piece of that. That's why, in this video, I'm building my own AI influencer automation fully inside n8n. And to make it even more intense, I'm giving myself only 2 hours to do it. Why do I always do this to myself? Alright, enough talking, let's get to work. To make this happen, I'll be following my 4-part process. The exact method I've used to build hundreds of successful automations before. It's powerful, structured, and if you stay till the end, I'll reveal every single part in detail. Oh, and by the way, you'll actually be able to get access to this exact workflow for your own use. I'll tell you how in just a bit. But for now, let's focus on building it. The first step is simple: research. I spent about 15 minutes browsing tutorials and videos on this topic. And well, let's say getting inspired, not stealing by the way. Once I gathered all the insights I needed, it was time to move on. Now, this is the part most people skip: planning. Don't be like them, skipping it leads to chaotic builds and ton of unexpected problems. I spent about 15 minutes on planning alone. But thanks to that, I now have a rock solid base. Here's the plan. I'll be building 3 workflows. The first one will be responsible of generating the AI characters, the second one will create the post for chosen character, and the third workflow will be responsible for automating the posting process. For the tools, I'll be using Full AI and Posters. With the planning phase now done, let's move on to the third part, which is building. With only 1 hour and a half left on the clock, it's time to get busy. Let's start with the first workflow, the influencer generator. This one will include an input part, a part that generates the different information of the character, a part that generates the images of the character, and a part that stores all the information. So I started building the workflow, and I decided actually for the input part of it that I will create an on-form submission node here, giving the user the ability to fill in a form with the information needed on how the character should look like, and the workflow will later do its job. So I created a form submission, gave it 2 elements. The first element is the description for the character and an optional field, which is the ref image, of course, if we have a reference image that we want to use and take as a reference for our AI character. Next, what I had to do is just create an LLM, basically the engine for our AI character generator. For this case, I went with the basic LLM chain node. I gave it all the configuration it needs, hooked it to an LLM. For this case, it was Gemini 2.0 Flash because I wanted to keep it low cost and it's completely free. You are free to use any LLM you want, but for the sake of this video, I went with Gemini. I gave it a system prompt in which I gave it instructions on how it actually should generate the character description. So the goal for this basic LLM chain is generate information about the character, let's say name, tone, race, gender, etc. from the description of the character we gave inside the first on-form submission node. I also gave it an output parser, that way it outputs the data inside a JSON format that I can map easily later on in the next node. And next, I created an if node here. So we have 2 routes. So as I said, in the on-form submission node, it was optional to input or include a ref image or not. So that's why I went ahead and created an if node to create 2 routes. The first route will include a ref image and the second route will not include an ref image. I have prepared previously workflows that will do the generation of the image part. Before we continue with the workflow, I went ahead and created, using the new feature of n8n, which is the n8n data tables, I created my data table in which I'll be storing the different information for our AI character, as you can see here. After creating that, I went ahead for both routes, created an insert row action for the data tables inside n8n. That way I will be filling in the information for each route or for each character that I generate, including the name, the tone, the gender, different information, and the URL for the image so we can use it later on. For the post generator workflow, we are going to have an input part, a caption generation part, a part that generates image posts, and finally a part that generates video posts. For the next workflow, which will be responsible for generating the actual posts for our AI influencer, I started again with a on-form submission node, but this time it will be a bit different because we are first going to get some information out of the user on the idea of his post and the type of it. After that, we are going to use our data tables from n8n to gather all the characters that we have and let the user later select which AI influencer he wants to create a post for. Get all the rows, which is gonna have operation get, and it will gather all the characters that we have already submitted inside our data table. After that, we are gonna use an aggregate node to put them all in one element, and we are going to use the next form page from our on-form submission node, which is another action inside n8n that we can use. It will be linked to the first on-form submission node for this workflow, and for this, it will create a drop-down menu that will have all the names for the characters that we have already stored, and the user will select one. After that, we are gonna get the information of that character that the user selected. Next, we are going to use a basic LLM chain that I created. This one will be responsible for generating the captions. So basically, we are going to give it the idea that the user inputted and the post type that the user again selected, basically image or video. And we gave it a system prompt in which we tell it what it is supposed to do. Basically, it is a professional Instagram caption generator, different rules on how it should generate the captions. We gave it an LLM. I gave it Gemini 2.0 Flash, again for low cost and because it's free. We gave it an output parser to put it in a JSON format so we can map it easily later on. We are going to use a switch node after that to separate the two routes, either image posts or video posts. So for the image post, we are going to use a basic LLM chain again to generate the different information for the post, basically the description, and the output of it will be basically the image prompt that we are going to use in the pre-built workflow that we have created for this image to image. Why we're using image to image? Well, because we have the reference image that we gathered from the get character info node there. We're going to pass it along with the image prompt that the basic LLM chain generated, and it will create an image that will reference our character in it. After that, we are going to insert it inside our data table. Of course, we have created a data table here for the posts. We have created one before for the characters and now a new one for the posts. Going back to the second route now, the video posts, we are going again, doing the same logic. I created a basic LLM chain that will be responsible of generating the image prompt and the video prompt, because for this, we are going to generate the first frame image using an image to image model, and after that, we're going to pass it to the pre-built image to video model or workflow that we have created using Fall AI again, and it will generate out of that image a full-on video, basically following the video prompt generated by the basic LLM chain. And after that, I finished with inserting the video post, different information about it inside the n8n data table I created for the post. For the image models, I use Cdream v4 here, and for the video, I used 2.5. For the automatic posting workflow, we are going to have a schedule part, a part that retrieves all the approved posts, a part that posts video posts, and finally a part that posts image posts. Alright, for the final workflow, which is going to be responsible, of course, for posting automatically the posts that we have or we have approved. That is why we are going to start with a schedule trigger this time, not a form submission, a schedule trigger that will run each day at 8 p.m. After it will run, of course, it will get all the rows from the posts data table that we have created, and of course, it will go to a switch node that I will create to separate again the video posts and the image posts. Going back to the get rows, I made it only get the that had the status approved. Once we get all the approved posts, we are going to go to the route that separates the video posts and the image posts using the switch node. For the video post, we are gonna download the video, basically put in the URL that we have stored inside our data table for that video that we got from the generate video post node on top. And after that, we are gonna use a simple HTTP request to download that video, get the binary inside n8n. We are gonna use the post is upload video or upload file node and give it the data binary property for that video we downloaded. And we are going to create a schedule or schedule the post. For our case, we're posting as soon as this workflow gets executed, so basically at 8 p.m. So that's why we're using the type now. We're giving it the channel ID we have created, and we're gonna pass it the content, basically the caption that we retrieved from the posts that we generated in the previous workflow, and the ID and path for the video. After that, we're gonna update the row for that post to change the status to posted. Same goes to the image. It will be the same approach, downloading the image. After downloading the image, uploading the image to posties, and then scheduling the post to now using posties create post, and after that updating the image to have the status posted. And we did it. Under 2 hours, the automation is now complete. Now the real question, does it actually work? Well, let's test it out. Let's start with creating our character. So execute the workflow. Okay, will not pass in a ref image. So let's execute this. All right, character has been generated. So if you go here now, Isabella. Okay, Rossi. Let's go take a look at the picture they gave us of her. Okay, this is the character. Maybe I wanted a bit of a realistic look, but it's okay. Because I said world, I guess, in the post. So now, let's go request a post. Type image. Let's go with image here. Select our Isabella Rossi as the influencer or the character. And now let's wait for the workflow to finish executing. Alright, generating the post. Now the image post. We'll go with images just for the optimization of the tokens, I guess. Alright, we go to the data tables now. If we refresh here, we'll find this new post here. If you go there, let's go take a look. Alright, this is the post. Isabella is the same. It's the same picture and same clothes, bags, whatever it gave us. So let's go back here. Let's try to actually approve it. So if you go to post, let's approve this. Approved. Let's change this to rejected, for example, so it doesn't repost it. So approved. Let's go here. Change this to schedule. Let's give it a run. Loading the image right now. Update image row. If we go here, we'll find that it has been posted. If we refresh. So it was posted. If we go to our burner account, alright, as you can see, it has been posted with a caption. We got it. This is the caption. This is the post. I guess with the prompts, we could make it a bit more realistic to not create a character, but rather an actual AI influencer. I guess, yeah, it has been successful. We have managed to create our AI influencer system. Alright, so here's how you can get your hands on this exact workflow. It's available through our membership for just $20 a month, giving you access to this automation, all previous ones, and every future release. Or, if you prefer, you can grab it individually from our shop, link in the description. Thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.